Not as popular but just as great as a Philly cheesesteak. Rich, spicy, cheesy and loaded with juicy, authentic jerk chicken stuffed between warm, delicious toasted buns. Hey, I'm Nick and in this video I'm going to show you how to make jerk chicken cheesesteak from scratch. Yes, that means we are making a stellar sandwich bread too. This is simple and straightforward, so yeah, let's get right into it. First things first, the sandwich bread. This is a great no-fuss bread that's perfect for this type of sandwich. For accuracy, we are going to use a kitchen scale to weigh stuff. I want 16 ounce or 1 pound of all-purpose flour. That's enough to give me 2 large loaves for 2 sandwiches. I'm also weighing the liquid for the bread. Water is cool, but the liquid of choice is whole milk. 9 ounces of that is good. 9 ounces is roughly 1 full cup plus 2 tablespoons. This bread has a higher hydration at 60%. Higher hydration is going to give a much softer loaf. To that, add 1 ounce or 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm using brown sugar. 2 tablespoons oil, but other fats like butter good same way. Half teaspoon salt. And finally, half tablespoon instant yeast. Give that a quick mix to dissolve everything. Forgot to mention that I used chilled milk. I just pulled it out of the fridge. This will slow down the yeast and we will have a slower rise, but slower fermentation is a lot more manageable. And slower fermentation also gives a better flavor. When that's dissolved, or mostly dissolved, just add the liquid to the flour. I can do it in one go because we measured everything precisely. This is a super sticky dough, so I'm going to be using a spoon to mix everything first. Then I'm going in with my hands to knead. Knead until the flour is fully hydrated. I'm not trying to develop gluten, I'm just trying to combine everything properly. 60% hydration just means the weight of the liquid is 60% of the weight of the flour. Bakers use percentages for consistency, so they weigh a lot of liquids. It's reliable. Higher hydration means a stickier dough. More kneading will make it less sticky and more smooth, but that is just extra work. As soon as everything is mixed in properly, I'm going to ball it up, wrap it and let it rest for 10 minutes. Resting develops gluten proteins and make the dough smooth and much more manageable. Just like that, we eliminated the need to knead. I'm going to divide this in two, but first I have to ball this up by folding it over onto itself. Look how that's smooth with basically no kneading. Balling it up like this gives the dough a lot of structure. Cut the dough into 2 equal halves for our 2 breads and we can now shape them. Fold over to form a nice dough ball, then press flat. Next, just roll this into the loaf. I'm giving this tension with each roll. That's going to give me a tight loaf with a lot of structure. Finally, give it a roll for some extra length and to even this out. Just repeat with the second piece of dough. Now is a good time to start preheating the oven to 350 degrees. These don't look perfect, but they will even out as it proofs out, no worries. Baking tray, grease, grease paper, grease again, then add each loaf. And that's it, it's ready for the final proof. Wrap or cover so it doesn't dry out while it proofs. Depending on ambient temperature, this will take upwards of 20 minutes to proof. It took an hour for these to come close to double. That's because the dough was cold and slow from the milk. Before this goes in the oven, put a few scores on each loaf. It helps with even expansion and baking. It also looks more attractive. Into the preheated oven at 350 degrees for 35 to 45 minutes. And these are done. They smell great but still hot, so I'm going to cool these down while we work on more deliciousness. For the jerk chicken, I'm using chicken breasts. This technique is one way to get really juicy chicken breasts. I'm slicing the chicken breast into a thickness of about half of an inch. That goes in a bowl. Season with salt, black pepper. Give that a little mix. Next, I'm going to add a bit of jerk season. I have a video breaking down how to make this banger marinade. I get into details about all the ingredients and I answer a lot of the questions you might have. It's a lot of value, so give that video a watch. A few tablespoons of the marinade is good. I just need to coat everything. Give that a proper mix and set it aside to marinate. We are finally cooking. A heavy bottom skillet like a wide cast iron pan is great for this. If you have a flat top grill or griddle, even better. I'm going to saute some peppers and onions in butter. This is a key part of a cheesesteak sandwich. Season with black pepper and salt. Saute this to your desired doneness. You could really make these caramelized, but I find that properly sauteed like this complement jerk chicken really well. Next up is the chicken. Add a splash of oil back to the pan, then place in each piece of marinated chicken breast. Shouldn't take long, a good sear on each side is enough to cook these right through and still have them very juicy. Yes man, that is it. This smells so good. Should take only about 4 to 5 minutes at this thickness. I'm going to remove them and chop them up. Some amount of the juice is leaching out, make sure you save that. This is perfectly cooked and still juicy. The jerk flavors are packing a real punch. Just set that aside for now. Back to the skillet. I'm adding the leftover marinade from the chicken breast to the pan. Deglaze with a splash of soy sauce and a couple squirts of ketchup. I'm making a quick jerk pan sauce to add a little extra something to the sandwich. A splash of water. I use the water to rinse out the rest of the marinade out of the bowl. You know, can't waste flavor. Don't do this if you have any kind of burning because this will make your sauce bitter and not good to eat. A quick taste tells me this is too tangy from the ketchup. A little sugar fixes that. That's very thick, but it will thin out when combined with everything. Alright, get the sauce out of the pan and set it aside. I'm going to rinse and dry the pan and get it back on the fire because it's time to toast the bread. These were chilling in the fridge. That probably wasn't necessary. Chilling them made them solid. Slice in half. I was trying to open this up, but because it's chilled it broke completely, but that's not a big deal. I don't expect anything different from this one. I'm using a bit of butter for flavor and to get that beautiful golden brown crust. Let that melt and place the bread in cut side down. Applying pressure and moving it around helps it to toast more evenly. That's good. Toasting makes a delicious sandwich and adds some nice crispy crunchy textures. It also stops the sandwich from getting too sloppy from the fillings. Alright, using the same pan, add a bit of oil and then add back those sauteed peppers and onions. Chop jerk chicken with all the juices and the pan jerk sauce that's now a lot thicker. As soon as the heat and chicken juices thin out the sauce, this is ready. I'm going to show you two ways to make this sandwich. First, grab the bottom piece of one of the loaf and put some of the jerk chicken filling on. The cheese of choice for cheesesteak sandwich is provolone, so I need 2 slices of that. This sandwich I'm going to melt in the oven with the broiler on. The next way to melt the cheese is to just do it in the pan. Just separate the filling for one sandwich and add 2 slices of provolone. Kill the heat and cover so it melts properly. That's a really nice melt. Next, grab the bottom slice of the next loaf and scoop up all of that goodness and place it on. Provolone does give some really nice cheese pulls. You could mix in the cheese after it melts, but I don't like it like that. Here's the oven melted cheese sandwich. Probably could have used another slice of cheese and the pan melted cheese. I prefer this one. And that's it. All that's left now is to give this a taste and see how we did. These are really big sandwiches. This could be lunch for like 4 people. If you're not a fan of provolone, mozzarella is another option. And cheese whiz is very popular with cheesesteak sandwiches. Yeah, this is great. Rich, hearty, the spicy jerk chicken is super flavorful and the cheese complements this so well. The textures are wonderful too. That soft toasted bread, damn. That bite let me know I was skimping, so I added some more filling to the second sandwich. That is it.